Hey, it's Mr. Tush, and we're going to talk about how to do the written response template. Make sure that we're hitting all the big points of the create one task and the written response. So the video, when you submit the video, you simply are going to have to attach the video that you mailed to yourself. We're going to talk about that in a separate context. Then the next thing we're going to look at is prompt 2A. Prompt 2A says provide a written response or an audio narration that identifies the programming language and the purpose of your program and explains what the video illustrates. So assuming I did your video, you're going to go ahead and write yourself a little paragraph here that says, my video demonstrates the running of my dog training program. Of course, that may not be yours, but I'll give you an example. The purpose of this program is to teach people how to train their dogs in basic obedience commands. The video illustrates the running of the program, and in particular, the list picker we used to allow the user to change between obedience commands. And the program was written in the Blockly programming language using MIT App Inventor. Now, I'm going to also highlight it, and that's why I wrote this one out. I won't write the entire thing out in this video, but it says identifies the programming language. Do I identify the programming language? The program was written in. Okay, I did, so I'm going to bold that. I'm actually going to make sure that's there. Identifies the purpose of the program. The purpose of the program is, so I'm going to bold that because I want my readers to see that, and explain what the video illustrates. This video illustrates blah, 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 and what the video illustrates. And I'm going to boldface that. With each of these, no matter what you write, make sure that the components of the question are answered in here and they're boldfaced so that you know you've hit every part of these questions, because each one of these questions requires 3 or 4 items. Now, here the incremental and iterative process we've talked about many times. Capture and paste a program code segment. This is where you're going to put in your algorithm. Now, I'm going to use a code segment from MapTour. It's not quite enough to pass the requirements of this exam, but it's going to show you how to structure your code. So I'm going to insert the image. Well, actually, I'll do the written response first, and I will say this is my algorithm, blah, blah, blah. And understand that you're going to have your 200 words right in there about this. But let's talk about the code segment. So what's going to happen is I've already gone to my App Inventor, and in App Inventor, I've already gone to here and I've gone download blocks as image, and I've actually named it PaintPop Blocks just so we know where it is. So I've downloaded that as an image, and that's all ready to go. Then I'm going to go over to Insert Image, and I'm going to upload it from the computer. As I upload it from the computer, I'm going to upload PaintPop Blocks, and that's going to be really, really big. Now, what I want to show here is not all of my blocks, it's my algorithm. Let's pretend I'm circling it on this algorithm right here. That's probably not necessarily enough to pass the requirements, so just to be clear, I'm just showing you how to assemble your project. So, let's say I'm going to use this. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to pick the crop feature. And this crop feature, I'm going to crop down to the algorithm in question. You'll see it jumps around just a little bit, but once I hover over it, when I hover over this slider, I get the double arrow, and it allows me to bring the picture down to that. Then I hit enter or return on my keyboard, and it gives me a small version of the picture. I strongly recommend you make that larger, and that makes it a lot easier for your readers to read. And then you're going to go right in here and make sure that you're talking about everything that this does. The same thing is going to happen down here with your procedure. Let's just say, for argument's sake, I'm going to use that same, even though it's not sufficient, I'm going to use the same program for now just to show you how to write it up. And I'm going to focus in on this procedure right here. Again, crop, and I'm going to just crop the picture down, and I'm going to make it smaller, like this. And it jumped a little bit, don't worry about that, that's where it is. And I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard. You see how it got to nice and tight, and then I'll make it just a little bit larger so it's easier to see. And this is my procedure, blah, blah, blah. So I've got that. Now, number 3, you've got to put in your, and I'll just do this over for you so you can see it. On number 3, you've got to put in the entire program code and then mark with an oval the algorithm and mark with a rectangle the abstraction. So what I'm going to do is a little different using Google Docs. I'm going to insert, but I'm not going to insert an image this time. I'm going to insert a drawing. And I'll tell you why. The drawing procedure, the drawing feature in Google Docs allows you to put in images and mark them up. So when I open up drawing, I go to this image piece, and I'm going to upload that same image. It's the same one we looked at before. Right here, PaintPop Blocks. You're going to upload the exact same image. And it's going to come in nice and big like that. And you know what? That's exactly what we want. We want it this big. Save and close for a second because we can reopen it. All right. And we got to mark the algorithm with an oval. So I'm going to double click on it, and it opens up drawing. I'm going to go over here to shapes. I'm going to pick up my circle, and I'm going to circle my algorithm. And if you go long ways with a circle, it becomes an oval. That's all it does, is it stretches it out. And of course, you've just obliterated it, so we're going to go up here to fill color. We're going to fill transparent. Just as a piece of advice, you might want to make your circle bright red, and you might want to make the line really thick so it's really easy for the readers to see it. Save and close, and look, you've now circled, or you've marked with an oval, the algorithm. This is the algorithm. It's the same algorithm here. Make sure this algorithm matches this algorithm. Don't use PaintPot. I'm giving you PaintPot because I don't want to, confuse you by showing you you're something close to your project but different. Then procedure, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to double click. Now the procedure we've got to mark with a rectangle, right? So I'm going to double click this, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to grab a square or a rectangle right here. It actually lets me have a rectangle. Put a rectangle around this bad boy, and yeah, look what we got. The same fill. Transparent, red, 4, save and close. Look what I've got. I've got my oval here that's the same as this. I've got my rectangle here that's the same as this. The readers will be looking to see that what you put in here is matched in here. And the other thing to remember is that if you're working with a partner, each of you has to submit your own write-up, and each of you has to submit your own algorithm and your own procedure. So partner A has one procedure, partner B has a different procedure. Partner A has one algorithm, partner B has a different algorithm. They have to be developed independently. You can collaborate in the whole project, but little parts like this you have to develop independently. If your partner developed other things, it says include comments for program code that's been written by someone else, make sure that if partner B wrote this, put a comment in that partner B wrote this. Make sure that your partners are acknowledged. I hope that helps. I know it was a long video. Thanks for watching.